As Rome rose across the Mediterranean world, it believed itself invincible. Its legions were orderly, its discipline flawless, and war had become routine. Yet Rome failed to see one crucial truth. Wars are not won by order alone, but by the mind behind it. Hannibal Barca was born into that blind spot. His father, Hamilcar Barca, had been defeated by Rome, but never submitted. While Hannibal was still a child, he was made to swear an eternal oath of hostility toward Rome. This was not an emotional outburst of hatred, but the beginning of a long-term strategy. Hannibal's childhood was shaped by maps, campaign plans, logistical calculations, and the study of human behavior. He did not learn how to be a soldier, he learned how to think war. Rome trained soldiers. Carthage was turning Hannibal into a weapon. Hannibal delivered his greatest message to Rome before the war had even begun. Rome was prepared for an attack by sea. It was ready for an enemy advancing by land. But there was one thing Rome never calculated: the Alps. Hannibal did not see these mountains as an obstacle, but as a weapon. With his army, he fought ice, avalanches, hunger, and hostile tribes. He lost thousands of men, but proved to Rome that the impossible was possible. When he descended into Italy, Rome felt something unfamiliar for the first time. This enemy was different. Hannibal did not invest in numbers. He invested in shock. The moment the Alps were crossed, it was not the battlefield that collapsed. It was Rome's certainty. Hannibal's army was nothing like Rome's uniformed legions. Iberians, Gauls, Numidians, African infantry. Rome saw this diversity as weakness. Hannibal turned it into flexibility. He treated each unit as a different instrument. Light troops harassed, heavy infantry held the line, cavalry crushed the flanks. At Trebia, he used the cold. At Trasimene, he weaponized terrain. In every battle, he exploited Roman psychology. To Hannibal, war was the art of magnifying the enemy's mistakes. The order Rome trusted became a trap in Hannibal's hands. He did not want to win battles. He wanted to force Rome into making fatal decisions. Cannae was not merely a battle. It was a turning point in military history. Rome committed everything it had: massive armies, powerful legions, absolute confidence in victory. Hannibal deliberately weakened his center. Rome advanced, and advanced further, believing victory was near. Then the flanks closed. Cavalry struck from behind. The legions were compressed. There was no escape. Discipline did not save Rome. At Cannae, the Roman army was destroyed not by strength, but by geometry. Tens of thousands died. Entire legions vanished from history. That day, Rome learned a lesson it would never forget. Discipline alone is not enough. Hannibal won, but Rome did not fall. This is one of history's greatest and most painful contradictions. Hannibal destroyed Rome's armies, but he could not destroy Rome itself. On the battlefield, he was flawless. At Trebia, he used nature. At Trasimene, terrain. At Cannae, the very limits of human cognition. Rome's most disciplined legions had already been defeated in his mind. But empires do not collapse on battlefields alone. They endure through time, resources, and patience. When Hannibal looked at Rome, he saw far more than walls. He saw endless manpower, inexhaustible resources, and an unyielding will. To besiege the city was not a victory. It was a long, irreversible gamble. Hannibal could win battles, but he could not replace his losses. Rome, even in defeat, could raise new armies. That difference determined the course of history. Rome feared Hannibal, but it learned how to avoid him. It withdrew from open battles. It wore him down. It used time as a weapon. This was Rome's greatest achievement, not defeating Hannibal, but stopping him. Years passed. Hannibal was still in Italy, still undefeated, but now he was alone. Carthage sent no support. The Senate hesitated. Resources dried up. With every victory, Hannibal became more isolated. Very few commanders in history have faced such profound silence. For while Hannibal continued to live as a shadow that haunted Rome, he was slowly being surrounded by his own state's indifference. Eventually, he was recalled. And at Zama, fate turned. Hannibal was defeated, but never diminished. Rome survived not by defeating him, but by learning from him. The Roman army changed. Tactics evolved. Commanders studied not Hannibal's failures, but his genius. For centuries, Roman generals analyzed his battles. Later, Napoleon studied him. Today, modern military academies still teach Hannibal, because he proved that war is not merely about power, but about mind, patience, and perception. Hannibal lost the war, but he redefined warfare. He did not make Rome kneel, but he changed Rome forever. And perhaps the greatest tragedy is this: Hannibal was the man who came closest to defeating Rome, and the man who understood it best. Rome survived, but Hannibal became a legend, because some commanders win battles and some become history itself.